Children, we are continuing question number 4. Okay, so see how is the sex of the child is determined in human beings. uh, Genetics is involved in the determination of sex of a child. Okay, a male child has X and Y. This is male, so it produces two types of sperm, X and Y, 50% X and 50% Y. Okay, now female sex is homogametic because she is only with 2x. She has same chromosome, so she produces only X. Okay, that means she produces 100% X chromosome, eggs with X chromosome. So let us do the cross. Let us write XX here, and for male XY here. Okay, XX XY XX XY. That means a female can produce 50% male child, chances of 50% male child, and there are 50% chances of female child. Okay, there is another way of writing. You can see here, we can write the normal chromosome 44, that are autosomes, and the sex chromosome like this. This is for female, and 44, because 44 in male and female are same, but the last pair, that is XX in female, and 44 plus XY in male. Okay, this is male and this is female. Okay, now gametes, in gametes only half set of chromosome is there. So what is the half of 44? 22. And what is the half of double X? X. This side 22 plus X, male will produce 50% like this and 50% like this. Okay, so we will get, you multiply this with this, what you will get? 44 plus XX. If suppose female, this is multiplying with this, then she will produce 44 plus XY. So this is clear that 50% female child chances are there and 50% chances are of male child. So this is how the sex of the child is determined. So you can draw this one for answer number 4. So let's move on to the next topic, evolution. Evolution is the sequence of gradual changes from simple life forms to complex life forms. You all know that the organism which we see today, they are the result of evolution. Earlier they were simple, but due to changes, gradual changes, now complex life forms have been formed. Okay, as it is taking place in living organism, so evolution of living organism is called as organic evolution. Now we will see an example of evolution which is given in NCERT. Look at this picture, everyone. Now there are 3 cases. Okay, you see these are the normal bugs. They are red beetles. Okay, now there are 3 situations. Earlier they all are red, but you see the beetles, they are growing in grass. First situation, I am just considering this one. And you can see, suppose there is any change occur in these beetles. By chance, a single beetle has turned green. Okay, this can happen due to change in DNA. I told you about, due to change in DNA, certain changes can happen within the living organism. So you see this green color of beetle is the result of mutation, DNA change. Okay, now by chance out of these red, one has turned green due to change in DNA. Now the red beetles are visible to crow, Now crow, they started eating the red beetles, and you see green got chance to multiply, and gradually the number of green beetle increased, and finally you all can see all beetles have turned green. All red are eaten up by crow. So this is how we see that from red green has been evolved. This is an example that how evolution takes place with all different kinds of organism. Now see this second picture. Here, out of these red, one by chance became blue. Now see, red are multiplying, blue are also trying to multiply. Suddenly an elephant stumps on the colony of beetles. ओके एक एलिफेंट ने अपना पैर रख दिया घास के ऊपर, एंड यू सी accidentally all the red beetles are killed and only blue got chance to survive. And you see, this is how blue beetles have evolved. This is another way, that means by accidental situation also a new color has been evolved. Now third condition. In third condition you see that the beetles, they are normal size, and soon a disease happens in the plants and beetles doesn't get food to eat and they become thin, very thin. They are multiplying but their size has reduced to a great extent. Okay, but it does not change their genetic makeup. That means they have the same information about their normal size. The DNA is storing the normal size information. So you see, if suppose the plant disease get over, beetles, they eat again, okay, they multiplied and they became normal. So you see, this situation did not change the genetic makeup of genes, and due to starvation they became thin in size, but they resumed their size when they got enough food. Okay, so this shows that the genes or the genetic information never changes. So this is third way of evolution. So all these situations, they arises due to reproduction. Is this clear? Now let's move on. I will just teach you this topic in brief so that you should have the idea. Now acquired and inherited traits. The traits that we get from our or during our lifetime, okay, they are called acquired traits. Like suppose you go to gym and you make your muscles, you become very strong bodied person. So this type of trait, this type of character is called acquired trait, which we obtain during our lifetime. Now second trait is inherited, which we get from birth. This is since birth. Like suppose your hair color, your shape of the eyes, okay, these characters are called inherited traits. Now the scientist which was working for evolution, to study about the evolution, was Charles Robert Darwin. Okay, and he proposed the theory of natural selection. Theory of natural selection. And he was a naturalist and he studied towards the way the evolution must have occurred. Okay. Now we will discuss about the origin of life on earth, like how the life must have evolved on this earth. So Darwin's theory of evolution tells us how life evolved from simple to complex form, and Mendel's experiment tell us the mechanism for the inheritance of trait. That means how the characteristics or traits they transfer from parents to children, or how they go from one generation to another. There was a scientist called J.B.S. Haldane who was a British scientist. He suggested that life must have evolved from inorganic molecules which were present on Earth soon after it was formed. So, Haldane, he proposed this idea that we are, or all our living organisms are formed from the inorganic substances. Inorganic substances means minerals and all. Okay, that's why we have minerals in our body. Now there are some questions. Please see here. What are the different ways in which individual with a particular trait may increase in population? So the answer is, when a color variation arises during reproduction, it can pass the color on its progeny, which may protect them from prey. You remember that beetle example? So this is the first way of like passing the particular trait. Second, accident. We saw an elephant stumps on the population of beetle, and accidentally all red beetles were vanished. So second situation is accident. First one is color variation. Sometimes color variation can give chance. Second, accidents. Sometimes we see that the accident can like wash off one population. And third is poor nourishment. This also we saw in the example of beetles. Okay, so this is answer number 1. Second question, why are traits acquired during lifetime of an individual not inherited? Reason that the information of that change does not get stored in our DNA. Okay, we get only those changes in the new progeny which are present in our DNA. So the changes which we acquire during lifetime does not change our DNA information. Okay, so whatever we have in our DNA as an information, that only is transferred to our offspring or to our children. Okay. Third question, why are the small number of surviving tiger a cause of worry from the point of view of genetics? We know if the tigers keep on dying like this, then the genes of tiger will also be finished. If the genes will not be there, then there is no chance of more tigers. Okay, so from the point of view of genetics, if we have less number of surviving tigers, we will have less number of genes of tigers, and this is the cause of worry of the survival of animals like tiger. So this much for today. Thank you everyone.